My boyfriend, 31M, wants me to police his 25F gaming. Ever since we started living together, my boyfriend's gaming time is getting increasingly high in my opinion, until 5, 6 a.m. about 4 or 5 days a week. He tells me he plays because he's stressed at work, but I feel like it's taking a toll on our relationship. We only have 1 day a week with each other, and time after work. He gets home late and hops to gaming immediately. I feel like I don't even have time to ask him about his or talk about mine or even have intimacy, to be honest. And by the time he gets to bed, either of us will be too tired to do any of those things. I tried talking to him about balance. I asked him to manage his time more like reserving an hour at the end of the night for me, and that I'm trying to be understanding because I know he's under a lot of pressure, but I'd love to have a little bit of time with him too. He told me to just tell him whenever he plays too much and stop him. I feel like that's super unfair. It's putting all the responsibility on me, and honestly sounds like a recipe for resentment. I know he does it to relax, so when I ask him to stop it just feels like I'm getting in the way. But waiting for him to balance himself every time and not speaking up when it's getting upsetting is building up resentment for me. What is the right solution here? How do we reach a middle ground? You've communicated your concerns. He should be coming up with a solution or plan, because he cares about your feelings. I love gaming too, but taking up all his free time with that activity, any activity, is unfair to you and your relationship. He doesn't want a girlfriend, he wants a mommy. Don't do this. He needs to be a responsible adult and understand the consequences of his life choices. It's just going to lead to fights. He's stressed at work because he's getting 3 hours max of sleep a day. Unless he works the later shifts, which then we don't have enough info to say that it's an issue, because if he gets home at 3 a.m. and plays for 2 hours, it's not a big deal. How do I, 26 female, kindly explain to my ex, 26 male, that we are broken up? I broke up with my ex about 3 weeks ago as I had been unhappy. We had had many conversations over a period of time to try and fix things, and it just felt like it wasn't working for anyone. When I originally brought it up, he kind of said that he knew it was coming and didn't question the decision to break up, so it felt almost mutual in a way, but since then he has absolutely bombarded me with messages across all platforms. In the first week he kept messaging to meet up and talk about it, which I declined, as I felt there is nothing to talk about or fix, we aren't compatible, and he has mentioned how we are very different people. After he had sent about 40 messages in the span of a week, I decided to block him on WhatsApp, our normal method of communication, as his messages were upsetting me, and I'm sure messaging me that often was no good for him, and sent him a message requesting a clean break, as the constant messages were stressing me out before I blocked him. Since then I have had messages from him on multiple other platforms, and from the sound of the messages, it sounds like he doesn't understand we are broken up, even though we spoke quite clearly about it in person, and in the message I sent previously before blocking him on WhatsApp. The messages say things like he can't wait to see me, or that he has bought me a present, even just normal things about his day like the weather, that he can't give up even though he knows that I have asked for space, etc. I haven't responded to or interacted with his messages in about 2 weeks now, but they still keep coming. I have blocked him from multiple platforms, but every time I block him from one, a message pops up on another, and it is very upsetting to me, and I'm sure it is to him as well. I am just wanting some advice as to how to kindly explain to him for the final time that our relationship is over, and I wish him the best, but I wish for him to stop contacting me. I do care about him and really don't want to be unnecessarily cruel, but I want it to be clear, as I don't want to keep having the same conversation. I feel that he means well, but there is no chance of us getting back together. I have told him this, and he is just hurting both himself and me by keeping the constant messages. Any advice would be appreciated, as I'd love not to have to hurt his feelings again for another time, but I also don't want this to drag on any longer, as it's no good to either of us. Tell him if he doesn't stop, you'll pursue a restraining order. I know getting one is hard, but maybe the threat would make him stop. Are you responding to the messages? Read The Gift of Fear. Stop trying to be kind and be blunt. He knows what you're saying. He's just counting on being able to push. I, 25F, feel like my mom's, 50F, cleaning habits are ruining our relationship, and I don't know what to do about it anymore. I'm struggling to put all of this into words, but I really need advice after another frustrating visit home. I love my mom deeply, but our relationship has always been strained by her need for absolute control over the house. Here's some background. My mom has been a stay-at-home mom my whole life, She worked briefly as a seamstress before having me. She sees being a mom and wife as her full-time job, and the house is impeccable. No dust, no dog hair, everything in its place. She cooks from scratch, does laundry daily, and vacuums constantly. If anyone tried to help, it was never done right. Miss a spot while vacuuming? You might as well not have done it. Forget a laundry setting? You've messed up the entire load. As kids, if we slipped up, we were called lazy or accused of doing it on purpose. Mornings often started with her saying, "Now get out so I can clean," or "I can't wait for you all to be gone so I can have peace." I began feeling unwanted in my own home. When I hit my teens, we fought constantly. Where's my dad in all of this? He 54M, worked long hours and commuted 1 hour back and forth from work. When I was 15, he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Now he works part-time, handles firewood, repairs cars, and even built my mom a lift at the side of our house, so they wouldn't need to carry heavy things up the stairs anymore. He has a lot of work outside the house, as well, even though he should rest more. I've always been closer to him. My mom, though, seems to treat him more like a rival than a partner, saying things like, "When your dad works, you don't bother him either," or "You always help your dad but never me." I also have a brother, 22M. We also talked about it, and he agrees with the same problems. He mostly helps our dad outside when he is not at work himself. I moved out a while ago and started a job an hour away. Things had settled a bit, but on a recent visit for my birthday, she wanted to show me why she had to clean this much by showing me dog hair on the ground. We even bought her a robot vacuum to help, but she still cleans after it. Things kinda escalated after that, and I told her everything that hurt me over the years, the comments, the feeling of being shooed away, the sense that we were in the way. When I told her how it made me feel, she just said, "I never said that." I think that hurt me the most. Like all the feelings of not being wanted near her were just made up and not such a big deal. It made me so angry. We've tried telling her that her behavior is pushing us away, that her constant cleaning is unhealthy, and that we're worried about her especially now, as she needs knee surgery but won't stop. Her response is always the same. She can't stop. She needs the house perfect or she can't rest. After our fight, I took the next train home and haven't spoken to her since. I'm heartbroken, frustrated, and worried. My dad asked me the one question I was really afraid to ask myself. Did you ever think it would be easier if we just got a divorce? They constantly fight, and I see it wearing my dad down. He's a very emotional person, and it hurts me to see him like this. He does love my mom, but I think he's reaching a breaking point soon. So that's the shortest version I was able to put together of all the events that have transpired so far. I don't know what kind of advice I am searching for. She has refused to see a therapist, not only for her cleaning habits, but also other worries we had for some time. Maybe someone here knows how I should handle this if it can be handled. Too long did not read. My mom's need for a clean house has made me feel unwelcome in our own home for years. Any attempt at helping her is wrong, and she often told us to leave so she could clean. My dad, who is MS, and I have tried talking to her about how this pushes people away, but she denies ever having said a bad word and says she needs the house perfect to rest better. A recent fight over dog hair while I was visiting ended with me leaving early and not hearing from her since then. What am I supposed to do? She sounds like she has OCD, and that's out of her control and needs medication for it. Why not trying to get her to a DR? Yes, she might say no, but she has to go. I think your mom needs to talk to a therapist. She might have OCD of some sorts. She needs the house perfect or she can't rest. Your mom isn't well. This has always been an issue, but now it's a proper full-blown problem. 25 female/25 male. My boyfriend has matured over the past few years, and I am struggling to keep up. I grew up concerningly hyper-independent. I moved out at 18, and I have been completely in charge of myself for years. I do it well. Even if I don't know how to do something, I figure it out quickly. I met my boyfriend just under 5 years ago. He was immature and childish. I liked that in a way. It meant I got to experience being a dumb teenager for once. It was fun, and me being so independent made it feel like not as big a deal as it was. We shortly moved in together, and he struggled with a lot of things. I feel like people are going to say weaponized incompetence. But it was not that. He genuinely tried and struggled and didn't like me taking over. But he absolutely struggled with almost everything. It is very obvious that his parents never let him do anything by himself. Over the past year, he has matured a lot. This is a fully grown man in front of me now. But my brain is still in the old place. I still plan for things to go completely wrong. I still do last-minute checks and sweeps. I essentially follow a toddler around and put things back where they should. I don't ask for help when I need it, because I can only see him getting in the way. He is getting frustrated over it, and I get frustrated with him over it. But he is fully capable of these things now. It's just me not letting him. How do I take a step back and let him do his thing? So sit with the discomfort of not being sure if something was done right and trusting it was. Eventually you will trust Ham.